She's my strength. I rely on her for so much.
Caring, really caring. You know, you spend time with her family and in her community, you realize how many people she's touched.
Well, Sunday morning was her morning to do a long run. I knew the route that she would take and the distance that she would go, and knew that it had been too long.
I was training for my first Ironman triathlon, went for a bike ride that Sunday morning. I saw Denise lying on the side of the road there. So I ran to the nearest house for them to call 911.
We get there, I look down right out my window and I see her laying on her back in the grass. She was in critical condition. Obvious injury to her leg. I knew we were in a rural part of the county and I knew she needed to be flown out immediately.
We go straight to the patient, might go straight to the patient's head and airway. We both kind of looked at each other, and the EMS crew had done a great job, but we knew that she was going to need more than what they could provide at that time, and so we secured her on the longboard, and as a group we carried her out to the aircraft.
When she arrived in the trauma bay, she wasn't doing much. Our worry here was for head injury, and unfortunately that worry came true. She had 2 types of head bleed in her brain.
She had a flail limb. She had bone extruded out of the skin. She had grass all over the bone fragments.
She was at risk for bleeding and clotting all at the same time.
We approach these things in a very staged manner. We take care of the most life-threatening things first.
She had obviously suffered a very severe brain injury, and the situation was pretty critical at that point because we weren't sure how elevated her intracranial pressures were. So we went ahead and we placed an EVD, or an external ventricular drain, which allows us to monitor pressure and also drain fluid to manage those pressures.
I had to call my dad, and 14 years ago I had to call him and tell him that my mom had been killed. And I didn't want to have to tell him that about Denise.
Basically, it amounts to very diligent monitoring, checking her neurologic status, looking at her labs, looking at her vital signs constantly.
I often whispered in her ear that I couldn't do anything for her right now. She needed to get through it, but I was going to put her on my back, and she was going to recover.
Day by day, it seemed like, maybe every day or every other day, there would be just a little bit of improvement.
Ben texted me, she kissed me. Every night he'd lean down and kiss her goodnight. And he said she knew it was me.
The definitive surgery where we fixed her tibia, it was in quite a few different pieces. It took us several hours to get that done.
Her mobility was seriously impaired when we met her, and we had our work cut out for us. She remained in post-traumatic amnesia.
The nurses very clearly said, you need to talk with her. You need to keep filling her file cabinet, helping her rearrange.
I feel like I came in one day and it was like a totally different Denise.
We are leaving the hospital 40 days later.
She's doing, 2 to 3 hours or more some days of rehabilitation just to get back. We're getting to where we want to be with the family.
Oh, so tell your heart